do 3,300 Pfizer vaccines over the next 3 days for seniors here in Marion County. And this is a collaboration between On Top of the World and the county, and obviously the state bringing the vaccines and helping them do this. We identified Marion because if you look, we've done millions of seniors that have gotten shots in the state of Florida. Well over half of seniors have done. I think we're going to hit 60% soon, which is, we're really exciting. We're really leading the way. But Marion was under 50%. Actually, I think they were even in the low 40s. So we really believe that being able to do these shots here is going to help. I think we're going to end up getting over 50% very soon, and I think this is going to make a big difference. I could tell you, just talking with a couple of the seniors there, they're really happy. It was very easy. How they did this logistically, we've done hundreds of sites probably around the state, and I've visited dozens of them, and they really have this thing down. It's very seamless. They're doing a great job. Everyone was happy, very, very short wait. We also, though, have been working with Walgreens to bring additional retail pharmacy options to Marion County. And so both are going to be located in Ocala. One is at 807 East Silver Springs Boulevard, and the other is at 260 Marion Oaks Boulevard. And you can visit walgreens.com and click COVID vaccine information to schedule an appointment. There's going to be 80 appointments available on weekdays, and there's going to be 60 appointments available on Saturdays and Sundays. And so this is just a starting point with Walgreens. We want to have more Walgreens have it as we get more vaccine to be able to come online. So in addition to a site like this, in addition to having sites, permanent sites, we have, in addition to the new retail footprint, we already have 12 Publix pharmacies in Marion that are offering shots to seniors every day, 3 Walmarts, 1 Sam's Club, and 1 Winn-Dixie. And so Marion was one of the first test counties for the retail pharmacy program when we rolled out Publix. And Marion, Citrus, and Hernando, it worked very well. They did a good job, and so we continued to do that. So Publix.com/COVID vaccine. They did have a window open this morning. I would imagine that probably all those slots have been taken, but you can check it out to see if there's any available. And I know their next window is going to open Monday morning at 7 a.m. You can also go to walmart.com/COVID vaccine, samsclub.com/COVID, and then windixie.com/pharmacy/COVID vaccine. And so the retail footprint, part of this is what the state has done, but a lot of these doses now are coming through the federal retail pharmacy program. And I'll tell you, we've seen some really good output on some of these pharmacies throughout the state of Florida. And so we want to continue making that available. We're well over 2.5 million seniors that have been reported to have been vaccinated. I think we're probably running 3 to 5 days behind in terms of the reporting on it. So we're probably a lot higher than even that shows. And so we want to keep the momentum going. If you look this week, we're doing a lot of shots reported already. And again, that'll only grow as the reporting catches up. So we really believe we have a great pathway to get the vast majority of seniors with at least 1 shot very, very soon. And at that point, we will then look at lowering the age, and we'll make an announcement on that. But that will happen sometime in March. And once we have the firm date on that, we're going to let everybody know about it. But I do think that being here in Marion, they're 11th from the bottom in senior coverage. This is going to help get them closer or even above the state average. And so I'm really excited to do that. We were also able to roll out yesterday a rural outreach program. If you look at the 11 counties that have the lowest senior coverage rate, most of those are rural counties, which on one hand, it's a little bit harder if people are spread out, but on the other hand, there's not as many people. If you surge some resources there, we can turn those numbers around very quickly. So we're partnering with a group called Health Hero, which is a provider that has done other immunization campaigns in Florida to increase the efforts to vaccinate seniors in underserved areas of Highlands, Glades, Levy, Putnam, Dixie, and Gilchrist counties. And I was in Highlands yesterday. We surged another 3,600 doses to Highlands at one of their permanent sites, and they were doing so well, we're sending them even more. because they have some people on a waiting list. We want to knock out that waiting list of thousands and thousands of seniors. So I think that's going to happen over the next few days, which is going to be really, really exciting. Health Hero, what they're going to do, they're going to look at the situation. If they want to use existing sites, they can get some of the doses to existing sites. If they want to do a pop-up site at a church or in a senior community or at a school, they can do that as well. It's really what's the most effective to get the shots in arms. So each county, we're looking to do upwards of a 500 dose daily increase. And that will make a difference very quickly because, as I said, these are not the most populous counties. We were also last week at the HBCU, Edward Waters College. So we have 6 permanent sites that we're working with folks in communities that may be underserved. So those are doing hundreds of vaccines a day at each one. We've done dozens and dozens and dozens of vaccine sites at churches, predominantly African-American churches, since the beginning of January. Jared Moskowitz, the Director of Emergency Management, has worked with every single member of the Legislative Black Caucus in both the House and the Senate, and in many instances has been able to bring a site in their districts at their direction for whichever church communities they thought that made the most sense. And the Jared also, the Biden administration asked him on one of the briefings recently to brief some other states about Florida's approach to 65 and up vaccinations, in particular, all the great things Florida's done to be able to work with the faith community, be able to work with churches, but particularly churches in the African-American community. So I want to thank Jared for all his hard work and really getting the job done. Here in Marion, the permanent vaccination site is still going at Paddock Mall, and that's almost 6,000 Pfizer vaccines per week. And we want to continue to do that, and we will definitely continue to do it. Here is one of our senior 55 and up community sites. We've done a couple dozen of those at this point, and really I think the seniors here really appreciate doing this. And so this will be 3,300 doses, and I think we're really excited about it. We're still doing our homebound seniors program, over 1,400 seniors where you go to their homes and vaccinate a homebound senior. And then we have starting Wednesday, we've had the 4 federal sites, FEMA in Tampa, Jacksonville, Orlando, and in Miami. Those are offering 3,000 vaccines a day. The first day they did about half of their allotment. I think yesterday may have picked up. I haven't gotten the final numbers on that, but we're happy to have additional doses being brought to Florida, and so we'll do it. We have received our initial doses of J&J late last night. I'm going to be going to an event in Polk County. We're going to actually be vaccinating law enforcement with the J&J vaccine. And so this is now going to be something that's present in the state of Florida. And I think it's a great option for a 1-dose vaccine that you don't have to have a booster for, and you don't have to have in freezing temperatures, which is really, really good. I'd also like to point out some of the things with the economic performance in Florida. So many of you know the December 20th unemployment was initially put in at 6.1%. Now that was better than the national average. Obviously, it had been a big improvement for where we were in April. Now with the benchmark revisions, they're revising our December unemployment rate from 6.1% to 5.1%. And so that is a really positive revision. I think it shows that we've got a lot of economic momentum here in the state of Florida, and we want to continue on that path. And the only reason we're doing it is because Florida's open. We're trusting people to make decisions. We want businesses to be functional and operational. We want people working. We stand with our folks who work at places like restaurants and these other endeavors because they're important parts of our community. But if you look at the unemployment picture, very much improved over what people thought. The revenue to the state is now being revised upward even more. And so for February 2021, the documentary stamp tax collection came in 40% higher than the estimate. Why? Because people are buying homes like hotcakes here. It's hard to find a home in many parts of Florida because the real estate market is doing so well. Sales tax up 10% over the estimate for February of 2021. increases for insurance premium taxes. You have intangible taxes up 47. Again, we're not raising taxes at all. We haven't done any of that. Just the revenues coming in. This is really telling. Corporation filing fees up 74% above the estimate because people are looking to be able to start businesses here. Lord knows you can't start businesses in a lot of these other states, so they're coming here to do it, and you see it reflected in some of these numbers. And so the revenue is being revised upward every time they look at it. And again, I think that's a testament that the state of Florida is doing a good job. We're getting things done. We got a whole host of things that we have to tackle. But boy, I would much rather have that unemployment at 5.1% than at 8 or 9% like you saw in some of these other states. I'd rather have the revenue coming above estimate than us be hurting for revenue like so many people were predicting just 9 or 10 months ago. So we're happy to be here in Marion County. I'm really impressed with all the stuff that's going on here. I was out at that equestrian center recently, and I mean, man, that is going to be something else. This is a great place. Okay, take a couple questions.
Governor, do you plan to expand the executive order to include college professors, and if so, a time frame for that?
We're not doing any occupation changes. We're going to do an age-based approach going forward. And so I said that it will happen in March. We will move the age down. I haven't got that exact date because it's dependent on the vaccine supply and it's dependent on making sure we're getting shots in the arms for seniors. But the next change is going to be lowering the age from 65 down to either 60 or 55. Most likely we'll do 60 and then we'll do the next week 55. So stay tuned. That announcement will be coming relatively soon, but that's what we're going to do instead of trying to pick and choose different things. And so if you're 60, you're going to be able to go, and it doesn't matter what your vocation is, or it doesn't matter if you're retired, you're going to be able to go. Then when we do 55, that'll be for everybody who is 55 and up. And if you look at COVID and the statistics nationally, 95.7% of all COVID-related mortality is age 50 or above. And so that's why we did seniors first, and that's why we will lower the age, but we're still going to be focusing on those people who are 50 up, because that's the best way to save the most lives. So the second part of your question, yes, it's going to be a larger effort. We've had Walgreens come online over the last week in a variety of parts of the state. And basically, Walgreens has been great because they've asked us, hey, where do you need it? And so if I have a place like Marion that is less than half the seniors that have gotten shots, I want it in Marion. St. John's, where I'm from, I think they're like 81 or 82% of their seniors have been vaccinated. That's great. We love that. But I don't need to put a Walgreens there if they've already got 81%. Some of these other places that have done really well, Palm Beach, they're almost 2/3 of their seniors. This massive county with these massive numbers of seniors, they're almost 2/3 because we put in the retail pharmacies with Publix, and that really increased their numbers. So I'm looking at places like Marion, like some of these other places. And look, it's not that Marion's done bad. I mean, when you're in the 40%, that's a lot better than some of these other states have done for elderly people. But man, we want to be able to get that going further. So yeah, this is just the start of an effort, and we're going to be doing more with both Walgreens and with CVS because I think it's close to a lot of people. It's going to be easier to be able to do that than necessarily coming to some of these sites. So that will happen as our vaccine increases.
Governor, the J&J vaccine in Polk County, can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, I can't give you away the whole announcement, but I will just tell you that we really believe because J&J is a single dose, we're looking at law enforcement, fire, and teachers 50 and up. That's perfect for people that are in the workforce because you can go one time, you can do the shot, you don't have to worry about scheduling the booster. And what we found in Florida is the vast majority of people do come back from the booster, but it's not 100%. And so this way you do it and you do. These sites like this that we're doing, this is great, but I was talking to the seniors, I'm like, we'll see you in 21 days because they're gonna have to come back and do the booster, which is fine. But man, just imagine we're able to do these. We show up in an area and you can do thousands of people. and you never have to go back there again. So I think the J&J is going to give us a lot of versatility. The question is, what's the demand for J&J going to be? Some people have been negative on it, and I've always said, you're crazy if you're negative on this thing. The data is awesome. 100% reduction in death and 100% reduction in hospitalizations. Guys, if you get a cold-like symptom, that ain't the end of the world. If it can save your life and keep you out of the hospital, that is an effective vaccine. So to only have to get one shot, I just think that's the best way to be able to go. Now, we're obviously still going to offer the other. But I didn't know, are people really set on Pfizer or Moderna? And I'll tell you, I think the reception to J&J has been very positive so far. We actually had folks, we're doing a lot of the African-American churches. We had some folks from the community call my office and say, hey, we'll be able to get more people for J&J. I'm like, all right, that's fine.
Are you planning with law enforcement around the state?
Yes, we're going to be doing, we're going to be working on doing a number of law enforcement pods. If you look, the number of sworn law enforcement officers that are 50 plus and fire and all those folks, I mean, it isn't that many people. So our view is we have this J&J shipment. We can take some of that and knock out everyone who wants it in a relatively short amount of time. And so once you do 50 plus with law enforcement, I'm not saying people under 50 aren't going to want it, but the uptake is going to be a lot lower for people 35 than it will be for 55. So thanks for everyone for coming. We had a great time here. This is awesome. Which way are we going? This way? Good to see you. Take care.